And here it is. This is a legit hot take because obviously this has hurt people's feelings, my favourite kind. I think Heroic should actually for real sign k0nfig, but not for stavn, obviously. I would just find a way. I don't know if it's Tessus and you move people around or whatever, but if you could make stavn and k0nfig work in the same team, because the problem I've always had with Heroic, in my opinion, is two factors. One is I do think actually they're slightly under firepower for the elite level they want to be at. If you want to win the big tournaments, remember, this is an era when actually Na'Vi isn't on top and some of the other squads are a bit more dodgy. Like, if you ever get to an era when, like, Na'Vi and Simple are super fucking next level again and FaZe is fragging out, like, you're going to have a hard time if you're Heroic. You're right on the edge. And then the other angle as well for me is, this will sound mad, but all the negatives that people don't like about k0nfig, I actually think would be good in Heroic, because Heroic's too far the other way. They are the team of, like, they just look like the ones who all do their fucking homework and they're in bed by 9 p.m. like, oh, can we have a story? Like, you know, it's like that shit. Like, here's the joke, right? That team just looks like fucking Cadians, just like whatever, Donald Duck, and then all those fucking whichever the one was that had all those nephews like from fucking DuckTales. You know, that one where he's just looking after them all. Like, it's too wholesome. Actually, put in a guy who's a bit of a dickhead. Put in a guy where it's like he adds a bit of spice. Because here's the thing. I actually think one of the things I like about k0nfig that says he's got some balls, mate. You actually want a bit of fire in the belly like that. I actually think as well it balance the team out to some degree. I know this sounds mad. I'll come up with a theory. It'll be something like the designated asshole theory or something like every team needs one. You know, and then, yeah, there's something there. I'm not sure. I'll think that separately. I'll focus group that, but I think that. Spoiler, I do think you could probably make about 50 hot takes. Like, every team just needs k0nfig, like Vitality k0nfig, like G2 k0nfig as well. Like, you know, like the joke is if you add k0nfig to any team, apparently it makes the team better. But what do you think on this hot take, guys?
You know, Vitality k0nfig is not
yeah,
a bad.
that's what I was going to say.
It's not a bad idea either, right?
Go, Maui, go.
That's kind of where I was going to go with it. I was going to go with Vitality k0nfig, actually. I think that's just such a better play. I think put him in for Dupree's spots, and I think he's just, like, a better player right now. I don't think that, like, you kind of do need that asshole guy, because I think right now, almost, if you get someone to battle the Apex energy right now, then I think that's not even a bad thing, because I mean, the way that Apex played at that World Final was so abysmal that it's almost like if you just send k0nfig there, is he gonna be like, Apex, stop fucking dying ramp? Like, you're just seriously like spamming with an A4. We should know that this is not what you're supposed to do. The reason we could do it with the A1S is because there weren't tracers, and it was just like watching a car crash multiple rounds in a row, and like the driver just continuously made the same mistake over and over.
Keeps driving the wall over and over again.
Yes, like, yo, you gotta turn. You can't make this. You can't make this turn. You gotta slow down. Yeah, I think Vitality is the spot for me. I definitely wouldn't change Heroic right as it stands. But Vitality's a team where it does feel like there just needs to be that other guy that's ready to take point, because when we see this team and like with some of the struggles they have in mid rounds, it's kind of like, where is the next thing coming from if Apex is dead? Like, everybody kind of like Magisk and Dupree still have that sort of Astralis style where they want to like feel things out and take an advantage duel, but sometimes in a round you just can't take an advantage duel. You just have to swing, you have to look for the next fight, and k0nfig's always going to be that guy.
By the way, just as an aside, I'll give you like a mad confession, but it's true, right? Apex, you know, his whole antics and all the like faces he does, which are funny, and I'll give him credit, he's mega entertaining. That is actually semi-ruined for me though, because I can't, you know, when people did the ultimate meme collage, when they took the one of Apex like, and then they took that one of Simple though, when he was like, and they made it look like essentially Simple was fucking Apex up the arse. You know the meme I'm on about, when they just put him behind the Apex meme like that. It's like as though he's like, oh, like that's just ruined Apex forever for me, because I've seen it too many times on Twitter, and B, like, I can't not think of that when I see him do that face.
You're not unsee it anymore.
I know, exactly. I want to. Go on, Kazan, what do you think of this move?
The thing is, like, obviously it would have to be Tessus when it comes to Heroic. I don't think you can change anyone else at this moment. And the other thing with Vitality, first of all, Maui, like, when it comes to this like Apex theory, like, if k0nfig comes to Apex and says like that, tells him like, you know, all the shit that he does, that would be sanctioned immediately.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably. Yeah.
First of all, like, you know, stay in your lane. You know, if you have a constructive, like, you know, idea to tell me, like, listen, this move, I saw when I was holding lamp, I used to do this move, and, you know, we were doing like this smoke at this timing and whatever, that's fine. If you tell me like not to die, then fuck you. Like, because he didn't want to die. That's a job for Zonic. Zonic needs to be telling like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, you can be dying like 7 times on ramp, like spamming to the smoke and whatever. Like, your point was, right? But coming into the Vitality, move, it would be the same like FaZe. You have Dupree, who accomplished beyond everything. He has an expiration date. The younger player is there. The more motivated player is there. Sharper player is there to fill up all the roles that you need, and it would be a good move. But we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm sure he's gonna end up in some of these teams, right?
Surely,
I don't know which one though.
Even though what's hilarious, by the way, is I actually think just the way that Blast World Finals went was just such a fucking great commercial. Not only for his game, but the fact that he just fit the team. Like, he actually looked legit good in the set. And they were even playing, like, fucking Anubis, the brand new map. Like, I think you couldn't have almost... And also, crucially, I hope he actually understood this when I told him. Like, he just said all the right things as well. I even told these guys, this is how dumb pro players are. It's like, you don't have to even believe it. Just say what the people want to hear. Like, if you just say, like, I am very sorry and I'm learning from my... That's all they want to hear. At least start, at least fake it till you make it, mate. You know what I mean? Exactly, start out saying it. So he did a good job in that sense. No, the other thing as well I think's mad is, I'll give you an analogy. Even though I agree, he wouldn't really go in and just tear up Vitality. But I actually do think that might be a problem Vitality has, by the way. I do get the vibe. If you think of the team, right, the camps that they have in the team. I remember before they had Masuta, so it was like the French and the Danish. Now they've got like the Jokers. Spinks just must be on his own because they've got like the two French players, which, let's be real, that dynamic has to be a nightmare because it's Ziwu, who obviously is meant to be there and is an amazing player, and it's Apex, where it's like, we're not really a French team anymore, so, you are maybe superstar requirements. He's like, no, like the connections, we're French, and that, like, that's awkward as fuck. And then obviously you've got the two great Astralis players, but spoiler, this ain't Astralis, it's not 2019 or whatever, so like that could easily get broken up, even though it's supposed to be friendly. So I could even imagine, by the way, the reason they've had problems in that team is I bet they do have to sort of like be a little bit careful how they communicate, and they're probably like quite gentle with each other. What's great about sometimes adding an asshole in is like, it's like you say, the real problem is this. It's not whether you tell k0nfig to do it. It's that there's no way he's going to sit there and keep playing. And as you say, someone keep making mistakes like that over and over again and then just say nothing. Like, this is actually, I'll give you a quick anecdote. Why back in the day, another reason I told Hiko, you have to get Simple into Team Liquid. Because he was like, yeah, but he is really good. But if we sign him, like, I've heard he's got all these problems. And I was like, that's why you've got to sign him. Because at the time, Liquid had tons of problems. Like, Adren was their leader, but probably shouldn't be. He was AWPing. And they had, like, the other players hadn't developed. And I was like, the best thing is, dude, he's not even going to last. Adren won't even last like 3 weeks when he's in the team. Like, this guy's, the joke is it'll either be Simple immediately out the team, or it'll be like Adren out. And then I said it will force you to either like fix everything or it'll just be ruined. So in a fucked up way, that might even also help on the Vitality one. Because that's the other thing I hate about that team, by the way. When that team loses, it does just look like people just go, oh, well, see ya, I'm off to my room. Like, what? Like, where's the fire? Like, what the fuck? You're supposed, like, you're supposed to be like, you're going for the moon, trying to be number one. Like, what? So I do get a vibe.
I can't deal with these people. I can't deal with these people who are like, oh yeah, we lost. Yeah, see you tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed. Like, what?
Yes.
Like, I want some emotions. I want some desk slamming.
Exactly.
Something, to happen. So we can, just get
bring
past
back,
it and,
back in the day, that's one thing I used to love about Devices, when he got the fire in his belly, he used to punch the fucking monitor when Astralis started losing. Like, all right, well,
yes.
At least he's fucking mad about that then, because it's Device, for fuck's sake.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.